Hello.
Daniel,
Hey there. Can you
How
see?
are
how
you?
are you?
Can you hear me? Okay,
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
cool.
you use Daniel or Dan or
It's Daniel. I'm not seeing
okay.
myself in my camera. Can you see me?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
can see you.
cool. It just doesn't show me on your in the meeting. Okay. So good morning,
Oh, okay.
guys. Yeah.
Hi. Well, it's nice to see you, even though you can't see yourself,
Yeah.
right? Yes. Um, I'm Scott Webster.
Nice to meet
Just,
you.
yeah, just a form of introduction. I manage a team in service management. So just to let you know who you're talking to, we are a group that does a lot of the customer facing work,
Okay.
uh, primarily building service requests. So we have over 500 service requests out there.
Yep.
Yeah. So we have a lot of them. So we're responsible for everything about those, like any kind of maintenance or any kind of updates or whatever. So, and customers come to us for those things. We are also responsible for the portals and how customers view and what they go to and see to request some of those services. And the way we think about our customers is our customers are that all the employees at Progressive, and right now we're over 72,000. So when we talk about customers, we're talking about employees, right? So they have to come to our tools to be able to ask for something. We also do maintenance on the tools because the service management tool that we have in place, all the things, all the connections, right, supporting all that for the IT groups and incidents and problems and changes and releases and all that kind of good stuff. We're in the guts and trying to make sure that works the best way for Progressive. So we're doing all those things. We obviously follow up on if something goes wrong with any of those and there's an incident or a problem, we're reacting to some of that and trying to correct that and make that happen, right? Uh, so that being said, that's our group, right? So we are going through a project right now. That's going to convert us. We're a BMC Helix shop right now, right?
Okay.
But we're moving to ServiceNow. So what we need and want supplemental staff for is to help us keep the lights on and do the operational type work while we're working on things to get us to ServiceNow. So it's really important for us to be able to make sure the person that is working with us in the supplemental side is knows that's the type of work we're talking about, and we're talking about requests to update a service request, like all those things I talked about, keeping the lights on, right?
Okay.
So that's where we're talking about the supplemental staff will sit and, like I said, give us the ability to pull people away and have them work on things like that. In our group, we also work closely with the engineering folks. They own the actual tool, so they do all the connections for us and get it ready and get certain features ready so that we can roll it out and use it for the customers. Again, some of the back end things, they've set it up, we maintain it. Um, uh, so when we think about like documentation and measures, right, for the supplemental staff, it's going to focus on just making sure our SLAs stay in place, right? So just making sure as we think about operational work and keeping the lights on and things like that. So just making sure we meet those standards that our customers have gotten to learn from us and what we're striving for. Just so you know, so the request to maintain the tool and things like that. So if somebody needs something changed in the tool, or if the engineering team does something and they want something changed, those requests typically are taking us 2 days or less to turn those around. It's like incidents and those changes, right? And the other part of it is it really would focus on two things, right? So those things, which are 2 days and less, and service requests, asks, right? So as you probably know, service requests. So when people are asking for something to change and modify in a service request, it can go from, we complete it within an hour, or it can take weeks, just depending on, how complicated that request might be. It might be, get rid of it, which is going to be, let's make sure everybody understands we're going to turn it off, right? And that can take an hour, or it can be build us this new thing, using all these different features and functionality that we have out there, and that could take us weeks.
Okay,
So
like 100 questions for you right now. When you say tickets, is it ITSM, is it Smart IT, or is it Digital Workplace? So ITSM? Your
It's a mixed
incident?
bag. It's a mixed bag.
Mixed
You
bag.
could get you can get regular ITSM incidents, right? I need help, break fix, permission roles, things go like that, right? User error type stuff, or you could have DWP failures,
Okay.
right? Whether it's self-inflicted or a BMC blip,
Okay.
right? And then in that case, you're just going to be fed a request ID and have to figure it out from there.
Okay.
So, like process-wise,
Are you
that's where that
hosting
would come from.
BMC in-house, or is it BMC hosted?
BMC hosted.
Okay, so you have performance issues already. I can tell you, probably duplication, performance, things not loading, duplication, normalization, things like that. Already in place? No?
No, not
I
necessarily.
don't think
Okay.
so.
You're
Yep.
lucky
Yep.
because MasterCard has a horrible issue right now. It takes like 10 minutes to load the page. As far as
Yikes.
ServiceNow, I took HR block from ServiceNow to CMDB. It took me about 6 months, and I didn't know you guys are going to ServiceNow. I have no recent background on ServiceNow.
Yeah, and we're not looking for that, just so you know, right? We're looking for someone to help us keep the lights on with VMC, right? We're going to have a project and move us to ServiceNow.
Okay.
Just to make just to make you feel better because you're thinking about it.
I actually have never met anyone that goes from BMC to ServiceNow, and I guess in my world, it's because ServiceNow doesn't have a database. You cannot detect duplicates using a SQL query because you cannot SQL query ServiceNow. They don't have a database. They have a flat file, and that's it. So good luck doing that stuff. Even if you use Discovery, Discovery is kind of bringing in data. And I know that Discovery is duplicating data actually from the source. So you could have like 10 or 15 copies of the same thing, even in the CMDB and in ServiceNow. So if you cannot run a SQL query on ServiceNow, how are you going to find those? That always has been an issue for me as far as ServiceNow goes. But you made that choice, so your issue.
Yeah, yes. Uh, both systems probably have their complications, right? So it's the ServiceNow system seems to jive more with where Progressive's going and how we do stuff, and trying to take advantages of some of the good things, right? ServiceNow provides, right?
Okay.
So we're already past like actually evaluations and things like that, right?
Yeah,
So
I can tell from your
and we've
voice.
been looking at it for many years.
Yeah.
So um, uh, tell us a little bit about your background. Ryan and Charlene have some questions, right? We're going to go through some questions, and maybe you'll step on some of those and talk about those in when you talk. But we have some questions. We want to make sure we ask you too,
Okay,
right?
so
Just to get to know you.
I'm gonna begin with my origin. I was born in Czech Republic and I came to the United States in 1983. I joined the military for 3 years to get American citizenship, and I did. Then I joined went to college here in Austin, and I studied. I got a degree in 3 languages: Russian, German, and Czech. And then after a while, realizing I'm living in Texas, who nobody here uses these languages, I switched over to computer science, and I got hired by Dell at the time. This is like 1991. I worked for Dell for maybe 4 years, and then I went to work for a company called IT Masters. IT Masters was the company that created the service impact management that you may be familiar with from ITSM or CMDB. So service impact management was a C++ based utility, and BMC bought us out in 2000, and that was pretty good for me. So I was at BMC for maybe 14 years, but they had me on the service impact management for maybe 3 years, and then they switched me over to CMDB because they saw my skill set is excelling in database management. So I'm really good with databases, getting data pulled out of the CMDB, replacing it with correct data, normalization, and things like that. So I was there for 14 years, but I wanted to actually, it was kind of, they were outsourcing a lot of people over to India, and I just didn't see any way up there because I was giving up basically to my positions to people in India. So I went to work for Charles Schwab here in Austin, and they had me work on discovery. I was writing the patterns, the discovery patterns, sync patterns over the CMDB. We actually did a lot of good stuff. It was really fun, but the contract was only for 18 months. So after 18 months, I had to go. Actually, they told me wait 4 months and then we'll hire you. I was like, I don't want to wait 4 months. So I got hired by HR Block at like within a week. So I went to work for them, and I worked with the security teams who were really interested in the relationships actually. So the service impact management of where the data begins, where is it going, whom does it impact, was of a huge interest for them. So I built a solution for CrowdStrike, I think. Yeah, CrowdStrike. So I created new database for CrowdStrike, and we just push data into there, and then pulled it out of there to create CMDB and enrich the data in the CMDB using that database. So after working for HR Block, I got a call from Geico, and actually, I'm not really sure why I did that, but I went to Geico. I worked there for maybe a year and a half or 2 years. And um, what can I say about Geico is, it was a pretty good gig, but the management was really difficult to deal with. They were not supportive in any way. There's like, no matter what you did, it was an issue, right? So they actually, I'm still talking to people at Geico. They were asking me like, "Hey, man, can we work with you somewhere else?" Because just the management there is still not great, and I don't want to go into details on that, but it just wasn't supportive. That's all. So I went to Mastercard. Actually, I had an accident earlier this year in February. My lungs got crushed. So I don't know if you can hear this. I seem to be projecting just fine, but I don't feel like I can project enough. So like I don't have enough oomph to say certain words.
We can
But
we can hear you fine.
it's great. So thank you. But when that happened, I was in the hospital for a month, and when I came out, somehow I was already hired on Mastercard. They were actually paying me already, so I was like, okay, fine. I took that job and I stuck with it. But they have this thing that they have a separation of duties. Basically, they hired me for discovery, but then when they saw my skill set with databases, they put me exclusively on the CMDB, and I couldn't do anything else. So it was like CMDB only. So I actually solved a lot of their issues with duplication. I completely eradicated their duplication issues using AI, the HTML integrator tool, and normalization by just discovering things that are failing to normalize and adding them to the product catalog. So all of that has been solved over there. I don't know what I'm gonna do next, so I'm talking to you. Now I'm here in ServiceNow, so looks like my time there will be limited. Anyway, I think the person said 4 years. Maybe you're looking at 4 years engagement, so that's actually decent. I'm already 60, so I'll be in 64 when you guys decide to let me go, or maybe go back to BMC. Who knows? I cannot predict the future. I can say that every company that I work for, you cannot predict what's going to happen 6 months from now. I've never really never been able to predict anything like that. So things do change
Right,
all the
yeah.
time. So
And
maybe if
progressive loves to change. We love to change. Yeah.
yes, and your insurance company. Actually, I have a Progressive Insurance, so that's my girlfriend. She just had an accident. She's been talking to your representatives over there, and she's pretty happy
Oh,
with them.
thank you
So
for that.
yeah.
That helps us. Yeah.
So
Nice.
I don't know if I'll get a discount, but just let me know.
I don't know. I don't even know if we can.
um,
I don't pay the bills, obviously, but
I don't recall the
uh,
employee discount.
yeah, Dan, what experience do you have when I talked about service, what we do? Can you talk about
yeah. So what I know about ServiceNow is they have a tool that can export all the data into like
not ServiceNow,
with what?
right? BMC Helix.
Okay.
We're on BMC right now,
Yeah.
and we're going to go to ServiceNow, right? But through a project, but we're looking for supplemental staff to help us move to and support and fill in the gaps, right, and keep us moving with our current tools.
So
So
what?
I didn't hear anything, or I missed it, maybe. Your experience in service requests or portal or maintenance of the tool. So
Yeah.
that's just what I'm trying to get
So
to.
BMC's AR system runs obviously on a database, right? So all your data is in a database, and every single form and schema has a table associated with it, with fields and
Right.
whatnot, right? So you have to go in a developer studio to make any changes. If you want to make workflow changes, you have to go in a developer studio and create active link or filter or whatever it takes to make the change. You have to deal with overlays. So BMC gives you like a base mode, and then you have overlay mode. And the overlay mode, actually, there's a lot of features that don't work in the overlay mode. It only works in the base mode. So if your interest is how do I get the data out of there, well, you can run a query on that data. So in that table, anything that's stored in an incident management ticket, it will be all in a database. So there's a table that stores all the tickets in it. You can pull the data out of there and move it somewhere else, right? So if you have a data retention period, say MasterCard has a retention period of 10 years, which is kind of insane. But if you have a retention period, say 7 years or 5 years, you're going to want to preserve the data across over to ServiceNow, right? So you're going to need to pull it out into a web file, or maybe just use a database. So you can use the agent integrated tool to pull it out and then connect to, I think ServiceNow does REST API, so you can probably import the data through REST API into that destination, but you have to build it out, right? So you have to figure out a mapping.
Yep.
This field maps to this field map to that, size of this data, et cetera, et cetera. So all of that can be done. Um, the scale of what is in the CNV, I think there's like 9,000 tables or more in AR schema, so it's a lot of tables. So you have to pick which table do you care about, right?
How
Well,
how familiar are you? I know that you had been working with the CNDB, but then you were repurposed, right, for database purposes on another team in your
yeah,
former role. Uh, how comfortable are you with like managing the relationships of the CNDB, not through the patterns, right? Not through discovery patterns, right? Like we're not trying to figure that out. It's more of like the manual management, and we have 72,000 people here.
yeah.
And all the assets, that's a multiplier, and it just makes it really, really big. So I guess on our side, when it comes to working with our customers, right, we are the central point of contact for the problems, right? It comes through us, and then we would maybe partner with engineering. In this role, we don't really do the work in Dev Studio. You'd use it as a reference. Okay, so in the CMDB capacity, we get records to update in bulk fashion, anywhere from hundreds to thousands at a time, and it could go across modules, incident, change, knowledge, and asset. So like Is that something that you feel like is in your wheelhouse? And again, this is removing those relationships from those back end forms in a bulk fashion, as well as creating the new relationships. And to be fair, the situations that you'd be put in would be we'd only give you a serial number.
Okay.
And you'd have to go figure it out, right? And the way that we have to work with our customers is, we want to be efficient, right? Like Scott was saying, our turnaround times are relatively quick, and this is just a sample from the record standpoint,
Yeah.
right?
So to me,
So,
it sounds like you may be talking about BMC based relationship class, where the relationship
mhm,
is kept between computer system and BMC person or
mhm,
operating system, whatever it is. So usually companies like yours that has lots of laptops that they ship out to people, they probably have some sort of discovery on that system, which puts the person and the computer together in a relationship. No.
no, no, not all the time. This is where we get the manual requests, and they will just give us a serial number and establish that relationship manually through data staging. So you're going to be given a serial number, and if you can decipher those back end forms to basically pull the system apart and then create those jobs.
Okay.
Right. So like from like a timing aspect, like if we get someone wants to update 1,000 managed by relationships, right? Is that seem feasible? Do you know the forms? Are you familiar with the back end forms? Like Fluent, where it wouldn't take, again, our turnaround time has to be quick. I mean, 1,000 records, you could probably do that in 15 minutes or less,
Yeah.
the way that we do it. So that's something that we'd be, on the clock for, right? So in this capacity, you'd be keeping us afloat, but work can pile up, and I'm telling you, there could be thousands. So I'm just trying to be as transparent as possible in this role.
Yeah. So from what you said, I don't recognize the relationship that you're talking about.
Yep.
If you want to know what the scene or what the AR system is doing, all you need to do is at the SQL queries. So they have a
Mm-hmm.
table. I forget what it's called. It stores all the SQL queries that are done by the system. So if you wanted to know which table are writing to, all you need to do is look in that log, and you'll see that in there, right? So that
Okay.
SQL query will include the table. So the table will have, like, if it has a colon or space, it will just have a dot in there. So you can
Sure.
get the table name from there. And again, I don't know how you guys customize BMC, so it wouldn't be too hard to figure out where is it going, where it's coming from, and how do you capture all the data. Again, to me, it sounds like you're looking for export of data from a certain table and put it somewhere else. The destination service now. I don't know how they would have done that because I don't think they
Yeah.
have like a
We're not
secret.
worried about the ServiceNow migration from this kind of question. This is just the keep the lights on part.
Yeah,
I guess that might just be another part too. That with understanding the role, if something was asked for data mapping purposes, would you be able to remain unbiased?
absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, look,
All right.
I,
Cool.
I've been doing this for 25 years. I haven't seen an issue that couldn't be solved in just a couple of days, you know.
Sure. Yep. No problem. And then DWP on that side, right? We are the front line for all of any if there's a blip with BMC, right, on processing an SR when it's submitted, or say something happens on a release and a mapping goes awry. Um, Oftentimes we're not given a bunch of information and we gave you just a request ID. I mean, if you want to walk us through an approach of how you'd handle that ticket, right, before tapping for assistance, what would be the first place of reference for you?
Well, I mean, DWP is an application, so you go to the ticket itself and see what's happening in there. If you wanted to see what's going on in the back end, there is a separate database for DWP. They're actually related. The AR system and DWP is two different databases, and there is a bridge that connects them together. So if you wanted to find
Mm-hmm.
out, well, I don't really. It doesn't sound to me like you want to go to the database. You just want to see what to do with the ticket in the console,
Right.
or how to build the interface. So Digital Workplace has a developer module that you log in and build the
I'm not trying
interface.
to build anything. This isn't developer centric. This is more
Okay.
of how do we handle the ticket. Again, we receive all failures, right? So like where would you navigate to in your DWP experience?
Yeah, so I mean, each ticket has a stage, and so you begin with the
Mhm.
submission, then you work on it, and then you end up closing it. So whatever it takes to close it, you have to progress through it and make sure that every field is filled out and just submit as it comes. Once you're done, you're done. You cannot reopen the ticket, and that's it.
Okay, that's fair. And then, given your background, obviously it's over a long period of time. Are you familiar with the import tool?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, could you just provide an example of like a solution that you've created using that tool? Yeah.
So, I mean, the import tool has to run on a system where it has AR server on it, so it can
Yeah.
connect.
Again, respectfully, we know where it runs and we know how it runs. I'm looking for a solution that you've created using the tool.
How do I use AR import tool? I mean, you map a table, you map some data into it, and you just run it. That's about it. That's import tool
Okay.
is an interface. You have pick a field, select a destination, run it, right? Um,
Fair enough.
y-
Yeah, I guess the root of my question is creativity. To the creativity part of, hey, a customer comes with a solution. Again, put it this way: we have like hundreds of support groups, right? And for context, if you have to update visibility groups on a mass scale, like, is that something that you look to do, right? Those are the types of solutions that we try and come up with here. And the way that we're putting it, it's more of keeping the lights on. This is the scope of the
yeah,
role.
I mean, what
You will have people in this.
So those requests that Ryan's giving examples about are certainly the operational type work, the requests that a person might get in this supplemental staff role.
okay.
So just Charlene, Ryan, are you done? Good.
Yep, I'm good. I will pass the mic.
Charlene, did you have anything or?
No, I think I got it out of what he was talking about.
Okay, all right. Daniel, any questions for us?
Well, I looked at you guys' profile on LinkedIn, and I think you, Scott, and Charlene had been at Progressive for like 17 years, really long time. So I know I'm talking to some people that actually are very familiar with the issues of Progressive. I think Ryan, you had been there for a year and a half, right? Something like that on LinkedIn said that. So I looked into that and just wanted to make sure that I'm talking to people that actually can tell me what the issues are. Yeah, what is it that you're looking to solve? And that's kind of what I'm looking for because I want to understand if I'm getting into this, what am I solving for you? And from what I'm hearing from you guys is that you want to know whether I'm familiar with everything around BMC, and I'm going to say yes because over the 25 years I worked at everything. The import tool is really not really popular because it's kind of stuck in a certain state. The better tool is the HM integrator where you can, run a SQL query and push it somewhere else. So usually people like the HM integrator better than the AR import tool. And the AR import tool, I think you can run it from a command line with like certain settings in there to update, modify. So you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options to update the data, modify the data, delete the data, whatever it is. So these kind of things there seem to be pretty basic. So to kind of hear a question on the AR import tool, to me it sounds really basic because at my level I really wouldn't be doing it. Can I do it? Of course. It's pretty easy, but hopefully I'm answering your questions here.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Cool.
Did you have any other? Did you have any other questions for us? I've actually been at Progressive for 27 years.
Oh my God.
And Charlene's been here a little longer because
32.
she's
You can
cooler
say
than me.
it.
Yeah, and so just so you know, right? So I think LinkedIn is probably. I haven't used LinkedIn for a while.
I haven't either.
Yeah, so.
Well, I mean,
But
the question
and
for
we
you,
were
like,
lucky to get Ryan. So Ryan joined us, and we were
Thank you.
lucky. Thank you for saying yes, Ryan.
Thank you for having me.
what is
Alright.
what is your like time of the like 7 to 4 or 8 to 5? What's your like, what are you looking for to cover schedules?
Let's see. Time zone
Most of us
wise,
are Eastern time.
yeah, most of us are Eastern.
Eastern.
Yeah,
Okay.
most of us are Eastern. We have a couple that are Central.
I'm used to
So
working from 7 to 4 because of, most of the companies I deal with are on the East Coast. So that's fine.
Yep.
yeah,
40
Yeah,
hours a
and
week.
our partners are very, very similar to us, the groups that we work with. Yeah. In Progressive headquarters, obviously, are in Eastern time zone. So, all right.
Awesome.
Good to meet you, Danny.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, sir.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
All right, ciao.
Take care.
All right.